Hare Krishna. Gurave Gaurachandra Radhika Tadale Krishna Krishna Bhaktaya Tadabhaktaya Namo Namo. Okay, so starting again for the third time. As we moved upstairs, maybe there's better internet here. So we were hearing how when Narada Muni went to Brahma and suggested that he was the recipient of Krishna's mercy, because he's born from Krishna's own navel, therefore he's Krishna's only son. He is the creator of the universe, he is the source of the guru of the four Vedas. But Brahmaji closed his ears. No, I am only his servant. I am only his servant. Then Brahmaji, in his humility, explained, no, he could not be the recipient of Krishna's mercy because many times he gave benedictions to the demons like Ravan and Hiranyakasipu, who disturbed the world. Also, Brahmaji himself made some disturbance in Krishna's pastimes when he kidnapped all the cowherd boys and calves. So finally, Brahmaji did pranam and said, I think Shiva is the greatest recipient of Krishna's mercy. Why? Because I am the creator of the whole universe, I have many responsibilities, so much opulence, but Shiva has renounced all position, all opulences, everything, all other occupations, and fully does bhajana. Therefore he mocks the materialist by covering himself in ashes and decorating himself with snakes. Therefore he fully renounced everything. He is the recipient of Krishna's mercy. And no matter, even if he does some offense, because he is Krishna's friend, Krishna never takes any offense at him. So, chanting Haribol, Haribol, Narada Muni went to the planet of Lord Siva. So Shiva, we have the spiritual world, the Vaikunthas, then the border between the spiritual world and the material world, there is a place called the Brhad, the Muktidam. So the planet of Shiva is on the other side of the Brhad. So Shiva and all his associates are like, they are liberated souls. They reside in the lower section of the Vaikuntha planets. So Narada Muni, playing his veena, Om Namah Shiva, Haribol, Haribol, he went to Sivaloka, the abode of Lord Siva. So that we should understand to be Sadashiva. So playing, he saw there a very charming form. Shiva was sometimes dancing, sometimes singing. Parvati, who was expert in clapping, she was doing some musical instruments with her hands. She was also laughing and singing. Shiva's associates like Mandeshwar, the bull carrier, were also doing something. So Narad came there. You are the recipient of Krishna's mercy. You are the recipient of Krishna's mercy. And what Narad had heard from Brahma, the glories of Shiva, Narad began to sing that. Then Narad Muni desired to get the foot dust of Shiva. He approached. But Shankar, who was intoxicated by the mellows of love of Krishna, again and again said, O son of Brahma, Narad, what are you doing? So he would not let Narad Muni touch his feet, but Narad Muni embraced him. Then Narad Muni controlled himself. He did pranams to Mother Parvati. And Narad Muni began to sing the Rudrastik and other astakams, which explained the mercy of how Krishna gave so much mercy to Shiva. Upon hearing himself be praised like that, Shiva, who is the guru of Haribhakti, he closed his both hands upon his ears and he began to speak. So this is Rudra. Sadashiva has one expansion in this world, that is Rudradev. But the original is Sadashiv. So this is, Rudra speaking, not Sadashiv. So Rudra said, O Narad, I am not Jagadishwa, I am not the recipient of Krishna's mercy either. I always desire the mercy of the servants of his servants. Their mercy is my only desire. Oh, I'm not even qualified to properly pray for that mercy. So, Narada Muni was very much surprised. So when hearing such statements that Narada Muni said about the pastimes of Shankar giving benedictions to Krishna, it's also described in different literatures when Krishna wanted a son, then he also worshipped Lord Shiva, and Shiva gave benediction that he was have a son. I think that is Pradyumna. Then many people read these things and become bewildered. If Krishna is the supreme controller, why he asking benediction from Lord Shiva? So they become bewildered and they worship Shiva in an improper way, thinking Shiva must be superior to Krishna. But many times Bhagavan worships his devotee does not mean that Bhagavan becomes less and the devotee becomes more. If we think that someone is separate or independent from Krishna, that will give rise to a demonic mentality. Let's see. Sudabhakti Sri Guru Sri Sivasya Bhagavat Saha. When the scriptures describe that one can also call Gurudev and Shiva Bhagavan, this is only in the sense they are very close and very, very dear to Bhagavan. So, Sapasandi Dhruvambare. If one worships Brahma, Rudra and the devatas thinking them to be separate or independent of Bhagavan, then such a person is called Pasandi, an offender. So we should not become bewildered when Krishna performed these pastimes. Like when Narada Muni comes to Dwarka, then Krishna gets off his throne and puts Narada on the throne and worships the feet of Narada and worships him with all paraphernalia. That does not mean that Krishna has not become Bhagavan and Narada Muni has become Bhagavan. This is Krishna displaying his affection and his deep regard for the Vaishnavas. Like when Lord Ram, he wanted to cross the ocean, then before the war against Ravan, he worshipped the deity of Lord Shiva for success in war and success in crossing the ocean. So many people think, oh, Ram worships Shiva, therefore Shiva is superior to Ram. Indeed, one time described in the Puranas, there was some discussion going. What is the meaning of the deity installed that time? What is the meaning of Rameshwaram? That time the human beings began saying, oh, Ram and Shiva, Shiva is the Ishwara of Ram. Therefore his name is Rameshwara. Human beings had that mentality. But the demigods came, no, don't say that guy. Both Shiva and Ram are both Ishwara, both God. Therefore the name of the deity is Rameshwara. But when Shiva heard all this, he could not tolerate, therefore he manifested from the deity and said, no, Ram is my Ishwara, my controller, therefore my name is Rameshwara. So Shiva, many places in scripture, there's some improper understanding given. Why? Because these are the Tamasic scriptures, the Tamasic Puranas. And Shiva is the Lord of the mode of ignorance. Therefore, generally those who worship Shiva are also like that. Therefore, those scriptures which describe Shiva in the position of being the independent and supreme controller, these are all called the Tamasic scriptures. So we should not become bewildered by them. In this pastime, you see even Narada Muni become confused. Not confused, this is so that some more glories of the Lord, more glories of Shiva can come from his own mouth. So when Shiva heard all this, that Shiva is so great, even he gives benedictions to Krishna, then Shiva was very angry, disappointed, and he said, Anantaram uvacho sa Vishnamayam ahomani duvit kare taram lila vaibhavam drishyatam prabhu. Shiva said, the pastimes of Krishna beyond my measurement, beyond my understanding, They're beyond any logic and reason. No? My penance and all austerities is to try and understand Krishna Lila. No? So you think carefully. Did Krishna really give did I really give a benediction to Krishna? So Shiva spoke all this. Krishna's glories are wonderful and inconceivable for a person like me. Krishna's pastimes are deep like the ocean. But he is so much kind, even I committed many, many offenses to his lotus feet, that Krishna never neglected me. So when Narada heard this, he became ecstatic and caught the feet of Lord Shiva. So Narada Muni made him sit down and began to respect him. Narada said, "You are very dear to Krishna, O Rudradev. Therefore there is no question of you any time making offense to him. Although ordinary persons may think like this, it cannot be so according to the vision of Krishna." Then Narada Muni gave some examples. For example, there was one demon named Banasur. We spoke a little bit about him yesterday. Banasur had 1,000 arms, and when Shiva would dance, then Banasur would play the mridanga with 1,000 hands. So he was quite accomplished. So Shiva was very happy and gave him a benediction. Then, benediction you want? Then Banasur was a demon. And he said, "Oh, these 1,000 arms of mine, so much strength, but I have no one proper to fight with. Who will please give me benediction, I can fight with someone who can satisfy me in battle." Means Manasur so demonic, he indicated he wants to fight with Shiva. So Shiva became angry. Oh, gave his one blessing, but also one curse. Very soon you'll meet someone who will break your pride. So Banasur became very happy. Banasur had a daughter, her name was Usha. Usha had fallen in love with the grandson of Krishna named Aniruddha. Krishna's first wife was Rukmini, her son was Pradyumna. Pradyumna married, and from Pradyumna came Krishna's grandson, his name was Aniruddha. So Usha had never met Aniruddha, but she saw him in a dream and fell in love with him. Therefore, in her dream state, she called out, "Oh my beloved, do not leave me." So all the girlfriends of Usha began to laugh. She is not married, how can she have a boyfriend? So Usha had one girlfriend, her name was Chitra. She was expert in drawing. She was expert in the black arts also. So she, according to the description, she drew all the famous men of the universe. When she drew Krishna, she became shy, or Pradyumna, she became shy because that is the father-in-law. But when Chitra drew Aniruddha, then she said, "Yes, that is him." So Chitra, by the mercy of Narada Muni, entered the city of Dwarka and kidnapped Aniruddha and took her back to the palace of Banasur, the ladies' quarters. And she began enjoying life like that. This is one type of marriage called the Gandharva marriage, kidnapping marriage. Generally the man kidnaps the woman, but here was the other way around. So the male went to Banasur with great fear. "Maharaj, please do not be angry at us. We are very strict in guarding your daughter. But your daughter's body is manifesting the symptoms of conjugal relationship. And she has some man, we can see in her bodily symptoms. But it is impossible, not even a male mosquito can enter into her quarters." So Banasur, the father, very angry, he kicked open the door. Ruda like Cupid, actually he was the son of Cupid. He was there, his arms very powerful like snakes, his chest was very broad. He was playing chess with Usha. He was wearing one garland which had been brushed, and that garland was covered with the kumkum from the body of Usha. Banasur was astonished. This boy has no fear. Therefore, some fight was there, and by Yoga Maya, the impossible became possible. Aniruddha, who was Vishnu Tattva, was captured by Banasur. So when Narada Muni went back and reported that now Aniruddha has been captured by Banasur, so the whole army of Dwarka, the Brishnis, came to fight with Krishna. So when Banasur came out of the gates to fight, then Shiva came with Banasur to fight with him, because Shiva is so much affectionate to his devotees. One huge war was there, and Krishna was fighting. Krishna was about to kill Banasur. Krishna cut off 996 arms, only 4 arms remaining. When Krishna was about to take off the head of Banasur, that time one expansion of Parvati came before Krishna. She was naked, and Krishna averted his eyes like that. That time Banasur escaped. Anyway, so this way Shiva was defeated by Krishna, but he prayed, and Krishna was satisfied with Shiva's prayers and gave some benediction also to Banasur, that he would be free from death. He would be Lord Shiva's associate, and afterwards he would attain the supreme abode. Therefore Shiva said, Narada Muni said, Banasur was puffed up with pride and with many powerful arms. He was disturbing the sadhus, and he captured Aniruddha. Then Bhagavan Sri Krishna fought with him, and in this battle Banasur nearly lost his life. You had protected Banasur like a son, and he was your devotee. At that time you glorified Krishna to protect his life, the life of Banasur. Pleased by your glorification, Krishna abandoned his anger and granted that devotee, Banasur, Surupya Mukti, a liberated form. He made him an eternal associate with a destination rare even for the demigods. So Narada Muni spoke all this. So that is one benediction that Lord Shiva gave that caused so much trouble to Krishna. Also, there was a person appeared in the family of Garga. Many pastimes. There was one devotee named Jayadrat. Many people got benedictions of Shiva, and they caused disturbance to Krishna Lila. There was one demon named Jayadrata. So one time he saw the wife of the Pandavas, Draupadi. She was when the Pandavas were in the forest. At the time the 5 Pandavas were elsewhere. They were nearby collecting roots and fruits. So Jayadrat was attracted by the beauty of Draupadi. So by force he went to pull her in a chariot. Then Guru Maharaj said Draupadi was from the family of kings, therefore she punched Jayadrat and knocked him out. Draupadi was so bold. But anyhow, Jayadrat bound her and took her on the chariot. That time Draupadi cried, and Arjuna and Bhim chased the chariot of Jayadrat. Arjuna stopped the chariot by a wall of arrows, and they took Jayadrat and beat him, and were about to take his life. But there was some relationship between Jayadrat and the Pandavas, like cousin brother. So Draupadi prayed, "Oh, here's your relative, don't kill him." So Arjuna took out his sword and cut all the hair and beard of Jayadrat, but left one piece here, one piece here, one piece here. So much disrespected him. So Jayadrat was very angry and ashamed. So he did strong benedictions. He worshipped Shiva for benediction for a long time. When Shiva came, then Jayadrat asked. Shiva said, "What benediction you want?" "I want to kill the Pandavas, 5 Pandavas." Then Shiva said, "That is impossible. They are protected by Bhagavan Krishna. But I give you the benediction. You can defeat 4 of the Pandavas if Arjuna is not there." So on the strength of that benediction, when Arjuna, in the Mahabharata war, when Arjuna was alone fighting the suicide squad, the Samstapakas, that time Jayadrat fought with the 4 Pandavas. So when Abhimanyu entered into the Chakravyuha, He could not escape, and the four Pandavas could not protect him. So because of the benediction of Shiva gave to Jayadratha, then Arjuna's son Abhimanyu lost his life. So that is one benediction. Another benediction was the demon Sudakshin. Sudakshin's father, his name was Shrinkal Basudev. Shrinkal Basudev, he was so foolish, he thought, I am Krishna. So he would decorate himself with a costume jewel. He would ride on he would ride in a chariot with a Garuda flag. He had made himself four hands like this. He painted himself the same color as Krishna. He put tulsi on his feet, many things. So he challenged Krishna to fight him, and Krishna killed him, took his head. So his son, Shrinkal Basudev was the king of Varanasi. His son was named Sudakshin. When his son Sudakshin realized that Krishna had killed his father, he became very angry. He worshipped Lord Shiva for a long time. Shiva said, what benediction you want? I want to kill Krishna. Give me the benediction, the power to kill Krishna. Then Shiva said, I give you the benediction, you can kill anyone who is disrespectful to the Brahminical culture. Then Sudakshin thought, oh, that's Krishna, because all the Brahmanas bow to Krishna, that Krishna is a cowherd boy, this is against the Vedic system. Anyway, so by the benediction of Shiva, he did some black magic. He made one huge demon, and he sent that demon to Dwarka to kill Krishna. When that demon was so powerful, manifested by the mystic potency of Shiva, when that demon came to Dwarka, all the residents of Dwarka became fearful. It was so huge. That time Krishna was playing chess with Rukmini, so he was too absorbed in chess to fight. So he called his ultimate weapon the Sudarshan Chakra, and he said, take care of business. That Sudarshan Chakra came and began to burn the Sudakshin demon, the demon created by Sudakshin. That demon could not tolerate the blazing effulgence of the Sudarshan Chakra, therefore he ran back to the city of Varanasi, and that Sudarshan Chakra followed the demon everywhere and burnt the whole of Varanasi to ashes, burned that fire demon to ashes, and Sudakshin lost his life there also. So in this way Shiva gave many, many benedictions to demons such as Jayadratha, to Ravan, to Sudakshina. And those demons caused lots of disturbance in Krishna's Leela. Of course for Krishna nothing is disturbance, but still. So Shiva gave many benedictions to those who are inimical to the Vaishnavas, but Shiva never gave a benediction without a loophole. So Narada Muni described, these are the glories of Shiva. Therefore many demons think we got the mercy of Shiva, but actually they were cheated by him. So Srila Gogamaj would explain, all great personalities have two features in their character. One is kripa, one is bhajana. If one deserves mercy, one gets mercy. If one deserves to be cheated, he gets cheated. So Shiva only gives his real mercy to the Vaishnavas, but he always cheats the non-devotees, those who are a Vaishnava, who are opposed to the Vaishnavas. So Narada Muni continued, Chitraketu pravittayo deyo api asasrita hari nindak yadapi swaso tebyo kupyas tatapina. Narada Muni said, despite being criticized by Chitraketu, you never displayed any anger towards them. Because you are always under the shelter of Sankarshan, the plenary expansion of Sri Krishna, they cannot understand your glories. Sometimes people foolish persons would criticize Shiva, like Daksha, or even Chitraketu Maharaj. Chitraketu Maharaj is not foolish, but one time Chitraketu was desirous of hearing Harikatha. He went to the abode of Shiva. So normally when someone gives Harikatha, they should be very grave, very serious, very detached from all material things. But Chitraketu saw that Shiva was speaking Harikatha, Shiva was completely naked. No, this is not normal. As well as that, Shiva had Parvati sitting on his lap. So, this is very astonishing thing. When Chitraketu saw, he laughed. Generally, a man embraces his wife in a solitary place. But this Shiva, he's embracing his wife in a public meeting place, a place where Harikatha is spoken. In the audience were many brahmacharis, celibates, and sannyasis. So this is improper. So when Chitraketu spoke that, actually he was joking with Shiva, but it can be seen as one form of criticism. Shiva just smiled because he could understand the mind of his god-brother Chitraketu. But Parvati became angry and cursed Chitraketu to become a demon. You know? So many persons criticize Shiva like Daksha, like Chitraketu. But Lord Shiva never became angry at them. Therefore, Buddha's Lord Shiva worship, he worships the incarnation of Bhagavan called Sankarshan, snake incarnation. Therefore Shiva, he thinks Sankarshan is my Guru, Sankarshan is my Ishtadev. Therefore, to remind him of his Guru, Shiva wears snakes, sometimes around his neck, sometimes on his arms, on his ankle bells, around his waist. Therefore, people cannot understand him. Even though people out of envy criticize Shiva, if someone has some relationship with Shiva, Shiva never neglects them, in spite of being insulted. Even Daksha, Prajapati Daksha, he insulted Shiva so much, but Daksha also had worshipped Lord Vishnu. He'd also seen the Supreme Lord face to face, so he was not an ordinary person. So if someone criticizes Shiva, but they have a relation with the Lord, then Lord Shiva never becomes angry at that person. Yeah? Therefore, Krishnasya pritaye tasmat shreyastam api abin vanchataha tad bhakta teva chaturya vishesh anati tatvaya. Out of love for Krishna, you give him benedictions. One time, Shiva worshipped, Shiva worshipped Krishna. Then Krishna asked him what benediction you want. Then Shiva asked for the benediction, I want to be more famous than you. In this way, Krishna gave that benediction. Therefore you see in this world, many people accept and worship Shiva, but very few people worship and accept Krishna. This is this way Shiva wants to increase the glories of his Ishtadev, Sri Krishna, but ordinary person cannot understand. So, Shiva's benediction is very difficult to understand. Only Vaishnava can understand it. So, therefore Bhagavan gave to both Shiva and Parvati the authority to grant liberation, which Brahma and other demigods cannot even imagine. Because Shiva and Parvati reside beyond the material creation, they are liberated souls. They mukti dan adhikar tiram. Shiva and Parvati can give benediction. How? If you die, at the time of death, Shiva chants the name of Ram in your ear. In this way, Shiva gives benediction to all type of persons. Even though Shiva has so much opulence, Narada Muni continues. Shiva has so much opulence, more than even Brahma and the other demigods. But because he feels so much happiness in devotion, he pays no attention to that opulence. This is perfect vairagya. Vairagya not means I give up everything and do bhakti. Real mature vairagya, yukta vairagya, means one so much attached to Krishna, he have no interest in any other activities. The Shiva have so much opulence, so much knowledge. Everyone worships Shiva for knowledge and for opulence. But Shiva himself stays very far away from these things. Therefore Shiva has no house, Shiva has no ornaments. Shiva's completely detached from all material enjoyment, but other demigods fully absorbed in that Therefore, even though Shiva has so much opulence, he feels a million times more happiness and bhakti, so he neglects everything else. Who else can dance in the midst of his wife and associates in such divine ecstasy? Today, O Rudra, I have seen the glories of your devotion to Krishna. Therefore, you alone are the dearmost object of the mercy of Sri Krishna. You are the dearmost devotee of Krishna, and many, many people have achieved Prema Bhakti by your mercy. By the mercy of Parvati, you think Yogamaya, you think like that. Many souls attain love for Krishna. Parvati also knows the truth about Sri Krishna exceptionally well. Okay. Ambika is another name of Yogamaya. So Parvati, Ambika Devi, Yogamaya, she is the sister of Krishna and thus the constant recipient of Krishna's mercy. In this way, Parvati also satisfied Krishna in many ways. As Rudra, you always engage in many ecstatic festivals with Parvati, and that festival is Nam Sankirtan, the chanting of the holy name and Harikatha. This is Mahotsav. One time someone approached Jagannath Das Babaji Maharaj. Oh Babaji Maharaj, today is Ekadasi, but we have no food, no nothing. Then Babaji Maharaj said, then today we will have a great festival, festival of Harinam Sankirtan. So Shankar always engaged in those festivals. In this way, Shiva began praising, Narada Muni began praising both to Shiva and to Parvati. But hearing all this name, Shiva hanged his head in shame. And he replied to Narada Muni, "O Narad, what you are saying is a matter of great distress. Where is Krishna? And where am I?" Means Krishna devoid of pride, but I am full of pride. Shiva said, I am drowning in false ego. I consider myself master of the material world. One name of Shiva is Bhutanath, the Lord of all living entities. Therefore Shiva said, I consider myself master of the material world. I consider myself as the giver of both knowledge and liberation. I think of myself as a great devotee and the distributor of Vishnu Bhakti. However, when the time comes at the end of creation, I manifest and destroy the entire creation. Therefore, I feel embarrassed hearing all these things. Oh Narad, if I had really got the mercy of Krishna, then why I tried to stop Krishna when he took the Parijat flower from the heavenly planets? Why did I fight with Krishna when Usha had kidnapped Aniruddha? If I had got Krishna's mercy, why he personally fought against me? Why would Krishna worship me as his servant? No, if Krishna gave mercy to me, if I got the mercy of Krishna, why would he order me to come to the material world and cheat everyone by preaching Mayavad and making people averse to Krishna? That is, many people not understand that Lord Vishnu ordered to Shiva, you appear in the form of Sankaracharya and you cover the glories of devotion, you cover the glories of Lord Vishnu, and you cheat the non-devotees by covering up Hari Bhakti. So Shiva, what's his name? Shankaracharya, who is the incarnation of Shiva, deceived many, many demons by preaching non-devotion in the form of Suddha Advaitavad, so the form of Kevala Advaitavad, pure monism. So Shiva said, the word mukti is unbearable to us, but if I got the mercy of Krishna, why Krishna made me preach mukti in the material world? Therefore, I am not the recipient of Krishna's mercy. No? But I think the devotees of Vaikuntha, they have so much mercy of Krishna, of the Supreme Lord. Why? They have given up all desires. They have all mystic perfections, but they are not interested in that. Even though all mystic perfections follow them, the associates of Vaikuntha never even glance towards them. The residents of Vaikuntha have no material attachment, no material affiliation Therefore they have given up all pride. And now they attained as their destination the eternal, cognizant and blissful abode of Vaikuntha. That Vaikuntha is free from fear and beyond all modes of nature, Sattvagun, Rajagun and Tamagun. Tatte te Satchidananda Deha Param Vaibhavam Sampraptam Satchidanandam Hari Sastincha Nabhajam. Those residents of Vaikuntha have eternal bodies of Satchidananda just like the Supreme Lord. Despite living in that place with eternal forms, endowed with knowledge and complete bliss, despite being surrounded by all the opulences of the Supreme Lord, they have no attachment to those opulences at all. They are engaged in seva. Satisfied only with devotion to Krishna, they travel everywhere for the protection of the devotees of Bhagavan and for the spreading of Bhagavad Bhakti. For example, when Ajamil, at the time of death, thinking of his son, chanted Narayan, Narayan, those 4 syllables, Narayana, those 4 syllables went in the ear of Narayan. And then Narayan said, who is that devotee chanting my name in distress? I must protect him. So as soon as Bhagavan thought, I must protect, then immediately the associates of Narayan, the Vishnu Dutas, immediately went to Ajamil and protected him. So the associates of Lord Narayan, the associates of Vaikuntha, they have free will to go anywhere and everywhere, free from fear, free from pride. They protect the Vaishnavas and spread devotion everywhere. Even the animals of Vaikuntha. In Vaikuntha is also monkeys, cows, birds, trees. But all those forms also serve Krishna uninterruptedly. Actually, these associates of Vaikuntha can assume any form they like. In the second part of Brhad Bhagavatamrta, when Gopakumar went to Vaikuntha, he saw many, many, many associates coming and going from Vaikuntha. They would change forms, they could take any form they like. So all these forms are full of eternality, knowledge and bliss. And their forms so much happiness, they seem to mock even the liberated souls. Why they feel so much bliss and happiness? They constantly have direct darshan of Sri Hari. Now, Shiva said, I'm here in Sivaloka. Sometimes I see the Lord, sometimes I cannot. But the residents of Vaikuntha always see him. Oh, Krishna's mercy is like a flood, and those residents of Vaikuntha are always bathing in that mercy. You cannot find anyone equal to the associates of Vaikuntha anywhere. The spiritual world of Vaikuntha is always submerged in an unending flow of ecstatic devotion to Krishna. In the form of Harinam Sankirtan, they know nothing else except that. So much Lord Shiva reside glorifying the residents of Vaikuntha, which are above the planet of Lord Shiva. So finally, Shiva said, all the happiness of the entire Brahmanda universe, all the happiness of liberation is not even equal to one drop of happiness the residents of Vaikuntha feel. In every way, they always absorbed in prema for the lotus feet of Krishna. What more can I say about the residents of Vaikuntha? They are the recipient of Krishna's full mercy, and they are thousands of times superior even to me. Okay, so what's the time? 5 to 9. So Shiva said, what more can I say? Rasik bhaktas of Bhagavan who assume bodies, material bodies, and dwell on the earth, they also relish devotion to Bhagavan. They are also respected by demigods like myself. even Vaishnavas in the material world, they're also worshipful for Brahma and Shiva, especially the devotees of Radha Krishna. Okay? So much Shiva glorified the residents of the spiritual world, Vaikuntha. Then he said, actually my highest aspiration is to also have the association of those residents of Vaikuntha. Wherever devotees, pure devotees reside, that is Vaikuntha. Even devotees who live in the material world and constantly hear Harikatha, they also forget their bodies. No? And in that same body of the Vaishnava, that same body becomes Sachidananda. Sometimes high-class devotees, they don't have to change bodies to enter the spiritual world. Generally we hear ordinary person, they die and their spiritual body comes out and that spiritual form goes, but some high-class Vaishnavas like Dhruva, they don't even have to give up their bodies. Like at the time of death, when the time of Dhruva's death came, but death could not touch Dhruva because Dhruva was under the shelter of the feet of the Supreme Lord. So when two residents of Vaikuntha came to take Dhruva to Dhruvalok, then Dhruva stepped on the head of death and entered that aeroplane. So at that time, Dhruva's body became completely Sachidananda, just like the residents of Vaikuntha. Okay? So this thing will explain more probably the day after tomorrow. The day after tomorrow will explain the position of the pure Vaishnavas in this world. Also, afterwards Shiva explained that actually Prahlad Maharaj has even more mercy than the residents of Vaikuntha. So Shiva so much described the glories of Prahlad. So hearing that afterwards, Narada Muni not went to Vaikuntha, he went to where Prahlad was residing in the spiritual world. Where is that? Prahlad resides in Sutalok, because his grandfather Bali Maharaj was given that place by the Supreme Lord. So Narada Muni went there, and we will hear tomorrow the glories of Prahlad and also the position of the pure Vaishnavas even in the material world. So hope everything's going all right. Devotees from Trinidad and devotees from Portland, devotees from Peru, Mexico, everyone is there. So tomorrow morning we'll give a class that will be translated into Russian for the Russian devotees. Thank you very much. Vanchakapotruvascha kripasindhubhyeva-cha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namaha. Hare Krishna. Thank you very much.